welcome to my channel, Main's Mind. Before we do anything else, please like and subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you can get updates when I post new content. All right, so once you've done that, let's get right to it. Today, I am going to be giving you 2 Kindle Velo recommendations. So let's get started. The first story is Cursed Waters by Shanna Brooke. This one right here is about a mermaid. This one caught my attention right away because it was a little girl crying. Her dad was going to leave her. And I was like, what's going on here? And then she comes out with, that she's on dry land. She can't breathe. And her father doesn't want her because she can't swim. And I was like, oh, nice. Then she grew legs and somebody came and picked her up. And she grows up, and apparently the man who found her ends up keeping her like a daughter and spoils her rotten. And she is a fisher. She helps him fish. And she finds this man. She pulls this man in on her netting. First she's like, oh my God, this is a human. What are we going to do? And then she realizes, wait a minute. This ain't a human. This is another merman. This is another mermaid type creature, So she brings him back to her room like secretively. She's like 20 something years old, but she's secretive about it. She even has like unicorn blankets and stuff like that. But she doesn't want him to see that. And when he wakes up, he's like, Marina. And she's like, no, my name is not Marina. She says, my name is Clara. And she's like, get it straight. And it turns out that they had known each other when they were younger. And he was under the impression that they were friends. And, he really cared about her. And that he like mourned her when she disappeared. And she was like, we were never friends. And so he's like heartbroken kind of, But this one right here automatically has that kind of like sexual tension to it. If you are into those kind of stories, this one's going to be for you, because right from the get-go, you're like sexual tension there. But it is a good little story so far. I look forward to seeing what's going to happen next. I'm not trying to ruin anybody's stories, so I'm not going to give you all more than that, other than to tell you that I do recommend it so far. So far, it's caught my attention. I'm not real big into the whole sexual tension, erotica, romance type things, but I do like the storyline, and that's what I follow. And right now, the idea of a mermaid. Most of the stories I follow are like sci-fi fantasy, dragons, elves, werewolves, vampires, stuff like that. And this is mermaids. So it's something different. So I was like, okay, interesting. So I am looking forward to see where this one goes. That's one that's definitely piqued my interest. Now, this second one actually caught my attention because of her TikTok. And I'll try to post the link below to that actual specific TikTok video. But it was like, oh, me and my husband, we're going to be on this talk show, but we're divorced. And I'm like, what? Or something like that. And I was like, oh, so then she announces her book, and I'm like, all right, you got me. I was like, I'm going to have to check it out. So I checked it out. I am about 3 episodes in right now. I haven't bought any yet, but I'm going to, because I kind of want to know what's going to happen. This one right here it's a show. This couple is throwing a game show where they pick 8 people. And I'm saying people because they are not all couples, and there is some crazy tension going on there. But they get these 8 people that are together, like coupled for the show. From what I understand, it's a game show where the last couple standing is going to win a substantial amount of money. And you've got several couples that are in different stages of their relationship. Some of them are divorced. Some of them are just barely dating. Some of them have been together for a very long time. Some of them are newlyweds. Some of them, it doesn't say that they're divorced, but it gives you that feeling because it's like, ugh, don't touch me kind of thing. And it's like, oh, okay. Right from the beginning, that couple's got some issues. Or at least that's what I think. For all I know, that's just how they work. And as the story progresses, we're going to find out that they're actually happily married. And I don't know. And they've got an old couple that's been together for something like 40 years. And they're like nipping at each other because it's like, I've been hearing your same jokes for 40 years. I don't want to hear it no more, And it's just kind of like, it's funny. So anyways, and so these couples are having to spend time with each other. But it is in a true game show fashion. I mean, think like The Bachelor kind of show. And it's kind of like that, but only it's not a bachelor, it's couples that have to make it to the end. And so I guess they get to rank each other to see which couple made the best impression on the other ones and decide who gets to stay in the show. But they threw in a twist and stuff like that. So far it's pretty good. I will be buying the next episode probably here in just a second, actually, because I'm painting. and I want to make sure I have something to listen to while I'm painting. I will be coming up with more Kindle Vella recommendations. There are also going to be some art episodes coming up and some unboxing because I got myself a nice little treadmill, but we'll talk about that later. And so, yeah, just stay tuned. You know, if you have any questions or comments, please comment below. If you have a story to recommend, let me know. Bear with me if your story isn't recommended right at the beginning. I'm kind of going through and I'm picking stories that I like. Again, these are my personal preference. So if I don't pick your story, it has nothing to do with your story. It has to do with my personal preferences. As a reader, I'm not a big fan of erotica, so I tend to kind of shy away from those. I do like sci-fi, fantasy, some good solid fiction. So don't take it personal. I have my own stories out there. I don't anticipate everybody to read my stories because my stories are about dragons and werewolves and aliens. So it's an odd combination. And not everybody's into that, and that's perfectly okay. What I am giving you right now is my personal recommendation, the stories that I have read so far that have caught my attention and have me following them. So by all means, if you do have a story to recommend, please recommend it below and I will check it out. Okay, so that is all I have to say about that today. Again, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe and ring the bell for more great content. I'll see you all next time.